when you don't set those right boundaries, it can create that tension. Like, do I need to keep my guards up for this girl? Is she trying to shoot? Like, even though I'm the girlfriend?
Right.
Alrighty.
I thought you were going to start like singing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see? Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Nope. A couple weeks ago. Like, I can't believe I didn't share this. And I hope this person is listening to this episode, but I was at Soul Tofu and somebody noticed me. Oh my gosh, what? Okay, and I'm only sharing this because it's never happened. Like, it happened this one time and I'm just like so excited. And it's a funny story. And it happened a couple weeks ago, actually. I think they went to your high school, Hannah.
Oh.
So if you know who you are, can you just slide into the DMs? Because I'd like to know the name of the very first person who approached me in public.
Oh, that's so nice.
You know? Yeah. She was eating with maybe a significant other.
Okay.
But their table was right next to ours, me and my boyfriend. And I don't remember what I was telling my boyfriend about, but I just thought it was so funny because I was going off. Like, I don't remember what, like, going off as in like I was talking about something I was like passionate about or something. Yeah, I was like ranting. And so she notices me, we walk out, and I'm like, oh wow, she probably thinks I really, really talk a lot. Because it was it was just me like blah, 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 just like talking
the entire meal. So it wasn't overheard LA, it was overheard Julie.
Yeah. Like, I was so excited, I also browned out. Like, I don't even remember what I said to her. Like, she said something, and I was just like, oh, like, oh my God, thank you. I don't even remember. So I don't really remember how the situation went, but I was just super happy.
That's so sweet.
Yup. And then, as you guys know, like, my boyfriend and I, we started dating, like, during quarantine. And so also maybe about last week or 2 weeks ago, we watched our very first in theater movie. It's not Shang-Chi. That's not how they said it.
Shang-Chi.
Oh. Maybe it's because you saw my face expression when I said Shang-Chi.
Well, everyone's going to be seeing your face expression now because
Shang-Chi.
we're on YouTube.
Yes. I just liked being in the theaters.
Yeah, no, it's like, it was definitely like a nice experience after so long, for sure. I feel like I also haven't really been doing much. And so I actually like went out on like a couple Fridays ago, and it was such a fun random night.
Yes,
we started off the night at MCO, and you know how they have their like comedy nights?
Yes,
I think it's called Cry Later, if I'm not wrong. And it's hosted by Dumbfounded, and dude, it was crazy. I saw Bobby Lee live.
Yeah, I'm so jealous,
dude. I never really I kind of keep up with his podcast. Like, I know his like whole thing, but I never really understood why like he was such a legend in the comedy community until that night. Like, I was crying. You laughing.
Were crying.
Yeah,
later
I was crying
in the day.
Oh yeah, no,
I
was crying now. Oh. Yeah, truly. And you could tell like he like wasn't even trying. Like, he's just naturally so funny and has just like years of experience behind him. So that was a very cool night. And then like I randomly in the crowd, like there were a bunch of people, I kept like running into people, and so I saw some like friends of Allie's that like I've met maybe 3 times before, and then we ended up like literally hanging out the entire night. And so where did we go? We went from MCO, we got tacos at Carrie's, and then we went to Intercrew, hung out there. Intercrew is always whack, guys. I don't get it. I don't understand like why people go there, but anyways. And then after that we went to Break Room 86 because I had never been, and I kind of just like wanted to dance, right? Yeah. And it was like packed. The music was good, but I just like don't think it was like the vibe. And so we went to Pure Bomb Star Night. Yes. And kind of hung out there, met up with like
that's a lot already. Oh my God.
And then we went to Terracotta, but then we couldn't get in because it was like already too late. Like, it was too late in the night that they weren't letting people in, and so we were just like hanging out outside of Terracotta, and then I was like, I should probably leave. But it was a cool night.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, but I will say the highlight was definitely liming through K-Town.
Yes.
And so that was a really cool night. And then the other day I went to Bodega, the like store in, is it Arts District? I want to say it's like kind of Arts District, downtown LA. And one of the guys there, Jay, was so nice. Like I was like, dude, I want to be friends. And so I think
You're hanging out?
well, I was like, we should hang out sometime. And so we'll see. I'll give you guys an update.
Okay,
on
like
that.
a hangout, like, oh, what do you like a just a hangout or like a hangout?
Oh no, just like a hangout.
Okay.
But very exciting because I was like, shit, did I just get a sneaker plug?
What you mean sneaker plug?
Sneaker plug. So it was a very, very, very cool night.
Yes.
But getting into this episode, we don't have a name for it yet. We need to come up with that. Maybe you guys can help us out. I was thinking like call me, beat me, like advice segment.
Ooh.
We'll come up with one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a very special segment. We get like some DMs from you guys asking questions. You know, we want to know what you guys want to hear, and so in order to do that, we have decided to have this new segment where you guys can submit a video asking us a question, and maybe we'll answer it.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll open the video and maybe we'll listen to it and then maybe we'll answer it and maybe contact you.
Yeah. And so we will give you guys more details on how to submit, but we have this amazing question from our friend Nancy, and so here it is.
Hi Julie, hi Hannah. My name is Nancy. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I love listening to your episodes. I love watching your TikTok videos. I think you guys are so fun to watch and to listen to, so I'm very excited to get your perspective on this question I'm about to ask, and that is, what are your thoughts on a significant other having a best friend of the opposite sex?
So before we even answer the question, I'm heterosexual, so I'm just gonna talk about it as if this is like my situation,
Right, as
so
a
I'm
straight
gonna be
female, yeah.
Yes, as a straight female. So you change up the pronouns as you wish to what is relevant to you, but as for the situation and how I'm gonna explain it and just my thoughts, I'm gonna be referring to like, oh, like my boyfriend and his female best friend.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So that's how I'm gonna go about it. And so will you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So the question was just, what are our thoughts on your boyfriend having a female best friend?
Yes. Ooh,
Yes.
juicy. Yeah, no, I think like just in general, you always hear the phrase like, can guys and girls be best friends and whatnot? But I think like in terms of this, like I wouldn't want as the girlfriend to be making any judgments on this female best friend without having met her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like all the time I'll hear about drama about a girl or a guy and whatever. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, they never did anything bad to me. Let me like actually see for myself and like form my own opinion.
Yeah. That's so funny. I think I'm not like that.
Oh.
This is not even just the best friend, but I don't know. I don't know if this is me being like, I know you're loyal too, but if I had a friend or even my significant other, if he had told me like, oh, so-and-so did this to me today, oh, but I feel fine, but it like keeps occurring again and again, I don't think I'd be very nice to that person when I meet them for the first time.
Right.
I mean, I won't be rude, but I won't be too fond of them. You know?
You see, that's when I turn on my acting face.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes it's so bad, but like I'll forget. I'll be like, oh shit, I was supposed to be mean to you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And okay, and you know, just right off the bat, when I think of this question, can guys and girls be best friends? Like, there's just so many situations, right? So number one, like, like if you have experience on your partner cheating on you, like, like your answer might be like, absolutely not. Like,
right.
Nope, I don't want that. But I can also think of, I wouldn't necessarily categorize any of the girls in our group of friends to be like a best friend of our friend's significant other. If
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? But another situation could be if you guys were all friends first.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if Hannah and I, you know, if you and I had a friend and another guy friend and we were all in the same group of friends first before maybe the guy friend and the other female friend started dating.
Right.
Like I can see where that, you know what? Yeah, that might be a thing. Like you or I could be that guy friend's like best friend.
Right.
Because we were all kind of friends first.
Right.
But ultimately, I think it's extremely hard.
I
I think it's extremely hard to be best friends. You guys, we're talking about best friends. We're not talking about like having male or female. Like we're not talking about like for me having male friends. It's about like my ride or die, the person I'm complaining like about my job to first, some friend issues first, like I don't know, significant other problems first. We're talking about that type of best friend.
Right. The key word being like first. And that means like you're vulnerable with them in any and every sense, you know? Like this is like somebody who like even if you get into a fight with, like friendship's not ending. Like you know that it's not the end of the friendship.
Yes.
And so I do think it's a good clarification point. Like it's your best friend, like the person that is closest to you.
Yes. So it has to be extremely platonic for it to work.
Like a like almost like oh my god, ew. Like or like even like a laugh, you know, where it's like, oh, I would
exactly. And we talked about this in the I think friend zone episode. You know, when you meet somebody, you might automatically friend zone them.
Right.
Or you might have a crush on them and then they might be friend zoned. But I do think it's possible for people to come out of that friend zone, like, you know, section.
Right.
And so when I say platonic, like, I think it could be that you have assessed, right? Like, it doesn't mean like you could have maybe seen potential at first, but the ultimate decision that you have, you know, decided on for your guys' relationship is that it is only going to be platonic.
Yes. Like there's always a small consideration point, but I think that even if it goes a little bit past that, then it may not work.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
if you are
it has to be far.
Exactly. Like if you're like, oh God, like, you know, teetering behind the two decisions, and you have to even like have a conversation about it. Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? I think that is going too far.
Yeah.
You know, it's not platonic enough.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then also I want to bring up that like, if I'm the girlfriend in the situation, I think that it is very much my boyfriend's responsibility to make sure that I feel comfortable.
Yes.
And so he needs to be including you in like conversations. He needs to not be hiding things from you. Like it's just overall like transparency.
Yeah.
I think is the best. And like if he's being weird about it, why are you being weird about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're being weird about it, I think it's more sus than if you're just like completely straight up.
Yeah. And in a couple of minutes, you know, we are going to touch upon it being the boyfriend's responsibility. Like, we're not saying, like, he needs to obey these, like, crazy, like, you know, requirements or, like, requests.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Like, it's not like that. Like, everything should be, like, a mutual understanding, communicative, like...
Compromise.
Yeah, compromise. I like that. Compromise.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely touch upon that. But I think it's also... the female best friend, right? The best friend's responsibility to kind of be aware of that as well.
Right.
I think I could completely understand where at first she might feel like she's losing a friend.
Right. It's
You know what
sad.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I can understand that, but I think that that's very, what's the word? It's like momentary.
Oh.
Right? It's only at the start. Because
Yeah.
I think ultimately they need to realize too that they're not going to be the one like I don't know, moving in with the best friend.
Right.
Or getting married to the best friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they have that platonic relationship. So it's like, yes, it might seem like you're losing like your best friend, but ultimately like, I don't know, big picture thinking, like you're not going to be like living your lifestyle. You're not making these decisions with him.
Right.
You're not like making parenting decisions with him. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that, like, I mean, the girlfriend is doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like she takes priority.
Yeah. And I think even like when I'm the best friend in the situation, like I always understand when the guy like goes a little MIA. You know, when my guy friends go a little MIA because they start dating someone, like I think time and time again, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that like your relationship is in your priorities, you know? Like I would hope that you are able to maintain this friendship, but ultimately I think I need to know that they are a priority, and I need to see that in your actions as well.
Yes.
And so, I completely agree. Like there has to be understanding on all parts, you know? There has to be understanding from the girlfriend's perspective that, hey, you guys have been best friends for a really long time. You have built up this like relationship of like trust and vulnerability. And like you're kind of just maybe coming into the picture, but also from the female best friend side of things, like you have to be understanding like, hey, this is his relationship. Like, as sad as it may be, you are lower on the priority list.
Like not even in a bad way though. You know what I mean?
No, it's just like that's what it is.
But if you do get jealous, like maybe you need to do a little check. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
Like I don't know, do you like the guy? Like
you got feelings?
Yeah, do you have feelings for him? Like don't be a homewrecker, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But if the best friend were to break up with his girlfriend, like then you just swoop in.
Exactly. Or like, dude, just like we're all about being upfront about your feelings. And so maybe when he's single, you swoop.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like there's no goalie, so even easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if I've been in this situation. I think I could say I've been in maybe a similar situation. Just where I kind of had to check myself. And it wasn't that I was feeling a type of way, but it was more like, oh, I would hate for my guy friend's kindness to me lead me to be hated by their girlfriends.
Oh, so in this situation, you're the girl best friend.
Yes, I'm the girl best friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think, like, I have a good example of a really close guy friend that I had who was in a relationship, but I think he did a really good job of making me feel cared for as a friend, but letting me know, like, he wasn't like outwardly specifically letting me know like his girlfriend came first,
right?
But it's like he's actually the reason why I thought of this specific non-negotiable of being respected by others.
Oh, cool.
Like I think you can do both, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think the fact that, I don't know, for me, you know, gifts is a big love language. So, you know, getting me gifts, but also being so willing to share. We were roommates or we were housemates. And so just, you know, like I remember one time I think I was kind of sick and he was at the mall. And so I asked for masks and just like coming home to that Sephora bag on my doorknob.
Oh, cute.
Like stuff like that. Like, oh, wow, like my friend really cares for me. Right. But I obviously knew. And I wasn't jealous. I wasn't jealous at all. But it was like, oh, like he treats me so well. But I can tell that he treats his girlfriend like so much better. Right? So much better.
Right.
And I think the girlfriend also knew he was such a caring, like almost like older brother to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that friend, right? Where like I felt like his actions, obviously, so I felt cared for, and he made it clear, like I knew he was treating his girlfriend really well, and he didn't make it awkward for me and his girlfriend. Because sometimes I think when you don't set those right boundaries, it can create that tension. Like, do I need to keep my guards up for this girl? Like is she trying to shoot? Like, even though I'm the girlfriend.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very hard to like find that balance, you
Yeah.
know? Like you have to almost like teeter the line.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah. No, there's literally no other answer other than perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I've also had other friends where, you know, I've been blocked by the girlfriends.
Oh shit.
And okay, I really don't think I was that girl though, you know, because
oh my god, are you homewrecking?
No,
are you homewrecking?
Absolutely not. Because in terms of timeline wise, these very few experiences, I was also in a relationship.
Oh,
right. So I can see, like maybe you could have felt. I don't know. I don't think I come off like threatening, but
no, Jim is threatening for sure. No, I'm like not even joking. Like I'm actually so serious. You're threatening. Girls are definitely intimidated by you. Anyways.
Oh no, this is going on YouTube. So if I was single, okay, maybe that gives you a little bit more reason to feel like you need to put your guards up, but I wasn't. Like in terms of like being blocked by these individuals, like I was in a happy relationship.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's so important. Like all three people's roles are so equally important.
Okay.
Like an equilateral triangle. No isosceles, like all three, you know?
Yeah. Very 60.
No.
Isn't, yeah, each.
Oh, is it 60?
Yeah,
60,
60, 60.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
60, 60. It's
60,
180. 180.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
No. And like, I think that, like, it's very hard. Honestly, it's pretty hard to make sure that all three of you are on the same page, especially if like you and the best, like the guy and the best friend, right? Like, they're gonna have already established a relationship. So I think like it is tough to manage, and it will take a lot of time, to be honest. And I think that like maybe like this could come up, this particular situation can really come up when the guy is a nice guy, you know? Like, I know that there's that phrase like nice guys finish last, like whatever, but I think just in general it can be kind of tricky if like your boyfriend is the nice guy who is nice to everyone. Yeah. Because it's hard to see the separation between like just a friend and like the girlfriend.
Yes. And okay, I just have a lot of like random analogies today, but so we feed my dogs sometimes human food.
Yes.
And my boyfriend wasn't so happy about that because, well, sometimes it's not very healthy for the dog, number one. But number two, he was just saying like, you've now introduced this pleasure to him or her, the dog, to the dog. And it's not going to be consistent, right? So like when you are at the dinner table and you're not giving it to them, it's like almost pain, right? Because you've set you've introduced you've introduced the food. That's the expectation now,
right?
Like you gave them a piece of like gogi, like now they're gonna expect the gogi every time you're eating gogi. Right. So similarly, so how I'm tying this back in is like when you are too nice and you don't set that boundary, you're almost like stripping that away all of a sudden when you get the girlfriend, and it creates resentment for the friend. As if they're losing something, but maybe that wasn't even something to have lost to begin with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like I wouldn't want a boyfriend who went out of their way for everyone. I understand if there's like a safety concern maybe. Yeah. Or like you need like help, like literally manpower. But I think just in general, like the guy has to be really careful about this, you know? Like don't be too available. Yeah. Like you should not be inconveniencing yourself for others. Like I don't think that like it's necessary. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. And I think I've been able to identify more throughout like, I don't know, the past year and a half, just like what kind of guy I am extremely attracted to. And I used to think it was an introverted guy, but that is like that's not like not it. I've done more digging, and I think it's exactly the opposite of what you have explained about being a nice guy, being so available, like going out of their way. So for example, like my boyfriend, right? And we've talked about this because he doesn't want to be this way, but he is approached this way. Like he doesn't seem super approachable. He doesn't really look approachable. But he is extremely friendly, and like can hold a great conversation. But people wouldn't say like they can easily go up to him and start talking to him. Right? So I think I like those guys who like seem that way, but are actually like kind of more deep down inside aren't like that.
Why?
And I'm also just really attracted to a dude's dude.
Okay.
Like a dude's dude type of guy.
Right.
Like in all the guys I have dated, I mean, like good for me. Like I've never had a female best friend situation like problem arise.
Yeah, I think, in terms of like how I was raised, for sure, my dad still talks about how he always wanted a son. He like literally has a name picked out. Like literally always wanted a son named Jack. And Jack because it was like a very masculine name, right? And I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm surprised I like wasn't like named Jacqueline, right? Yeah, so surprising. But I think like with that in mind, I and my sister, we are both raised in like a very like, you are a strong, independent woman. Like you don't need no man to like take care of you. Like you need to be financially stable. Like I don't want you to ever be put in a situation where you feel like vulnerable financially, emotionally, physically, whatever, right? And he's always been like that. And I think that like that's why maybe like somebody who is too nice to everyone, like too available, like I'm also not attracted to, because I've been raised in such a like masculine way.
Yeah.
I need someone more masculine so that I become more like beta, right?
Yeah.
I can't be the alpha in this relationship.
Yeah.
Like I need someone more masculine so that my feminine is able to
Come out. I know what you mean.
Exactly. And so I think that like when I think about maybe guys that I've like friend zoned in the past, or like guys that I'm just like genuinely like, oh God, I would never date them. It's because of this, like, I need to feel like you can like stand your ground, like have boundaries and like be very, very firm with them.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want my boyfriend to get stepped on all over. I don't want him to be like helping people out so much that they think that they could take advantage of him. I would get pissed off, right?
Yeah.
And I like talk about this in breakup part 2, guys. Like, I don't want to be the one standing up for my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like he needs to do that for himself and me.
Yes, exactly. And just, I don't know, if I really wanted to do a deep dive, I think with just having a younger sister, like the attention being split, like I want a boyfriend who, you know, can prioritize, you know what I mean? Can prioritize like things that matter to him.
Right.
And I am for sure like just my ego, but also like the type of relationship I want to have. I don't want to be on the same level as friends.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think some people like that works. Like some people that works.
Right.
But for me, like, this is just all encompassing, just like everything, like, right, like I want to have a family, so I want somebody who can prioritize the family and you know, his wife, like stuff like that, right? So, and maybe that's why like somebody with like a strong sense of like, I need to take care, you know, like I need to take care. I mean, I take care of myself, but our future as a whole together, like a big happy plan,
happy family.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm attracted to. Right?
Yeah, no, completely.
So just with nice dudes, like going back, like I've always also wanted a guy who's respected by others. When we say nice dudes, we're not saying like stop being nice.
Of course not. Yeah.
But trust me, like, I don't know, I feel like everyone ends up like learning. I feel like everyone realizes that when you're too nice, like people will take advantage of you.
Yeah.
They will. And like I never got to the pushover category, but I think I learned this kind of the hard way, or more like everything was kind of easily given to me until I like clashed with a friend my freshman year, and that is when I learned like, okay, you know what, I need to set boundaries.
Wow.
Like I need to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Or I need to set boundaries, set these expectations for myself. And this is on a friend level, but I came back home and some of my high school friends were like, oh wow, you've changed, almost as if it was a bad thing. But I'm so happy. Like for me, I think that's what kicked off the whole self-love part.
Wow.
I think that's what really helped me actually to realize like, no, I'm worth more than that.
Oh, wow. Like you can't take advantage. Like I'm not going to do everything. Yeah.
So maybe even in the relationship context, like that's how I was able to identify, like, oh, maybe I need more attention. Like I'm not like, give me all the attention, but you know what I mean? Being able to identify more, being more aware of like what I need and what I want, what I like.
Right.
And being able to communicate that. I think that's how it was set off. The setting my own boundaries and expectations of what I need. Yeah. And so the reason why I even actually brought up just the type of guys that I'm into and how they're like dudes
right
are because in every one of my experiences it's just never been an issue.
Right.
But I will say there were a couple, not even a handful, like a couple of times where I was kind of like, oh, like who is she? And I think something I also, just because we're talking about this topic, like something I do want to bring up is, you know, when I get jealous, given that all three parts matter, like asking myself, like, why do I feel jealous?
Oh,
right?
Wow. Yeah. Like checking in with yourself again. Yeah.
Checking in with myself, because ultimately you are in control of your reactions.
Oh,
and the response that you choose to relay.
Right.
And so if I don't communicate that to my significant other, like, and I let my ego get to me, I just feel like it's just a huge spiraling downward fall, right? Like I get jealous, it ruins my mood, but my ego's too big. I don't want to communicate that it made me feel that way. And so I'm giving sass. And then the boyfriend's kind of like, are you okay? And then the are you okay pisses me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that.
yeah, exactly. We all saw that. Yeah. So in terms, like, so is it a me issue, or is it something that they're doing that is making me feel uncomfortable?
Right.
Because ultimately how I react is up to me, right? So talking about the reasons why we might feel intimidated, I don't know, bothered by this female best friend.
Right.
Like, what is it? Like, what's the true reason? Is it that external factor? Or is it an us issue?
Right.
Like a me, I guess. Is it a me issue?
Right. And I think here it's really important to be honest with yourself, and it's going to be really, really hard. Like, to be completely frank, I think that you may almost need like a third party perspective, like a friend that will tell it to you straight, because I think it's hard for us who like, we obviously don't have an objective perspective on all of this, to be like, wait, am I like actually like justified in my feelings, or am I just being jealous? Like, is there something like deeper going on? Because I think like for me, prior to like my relationship, I think I was always very confused. Like I was like, dude, like why is there an issue? Right? Like I was always confused when the girlfriend was like, nah, I don't trust her, unless she like truly did something to like break the trust between the girlfriend and the female best friend. And then when I got into this relationship, my boyfriend had a female like very close friend. I wouldn't say it was his best friend, but they were like, that was probably his like that was probably the person right after his best friend.
Got it.
Number 2.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the hell? Like, who is this girl?
Yeah.
And then like for some reason, like I didn't get a very good first impression of her. Like I felt like there was like some coldness or like some like fake niceness. Like it's like, oh, like you're not gonna be around for long, so like I'll just be fake nice. But oh my god, I literally had to check myself, and I went to the bathroom, excused myself, and I was just in there being like, what? Why the fuck am I like spiraling and thinking this? And I had to interrupt my thoughts and be like, wait, like literally just see her as a person, like not as like a potential threat, because I think like I came into meeting her with this perception of like, I'm not gonna like her. But I think after that moment in the bathroom where I was literally talking to myself, thank God she didn't walk in.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I actually really like her. Like, I think I would actually be friends with her. So it was a matter of like going into it with an open mind and also like meeting her. Because like prior to this, I would just like kind of hear stories. Like you'd be like, oh, like, I think we're gonna grab dinner or like whatever. Like, oh, like we caught up. Like, and I was always like, what the fuck? But,
and I'm sure like he's not bad mouthing her, right? So it's like you don't know this person, you've never met her, but you just hear all these good things.
It's all good things.
All good things, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like, like,
should I be concerned?
Like if you guys are close, you guys are so close enough that you're telling me like all these good things and that you're spending this time together,
right?
But this unknown, but she's this unknown.
Yeah. And so I think it's really important to make sure that like you're checking yourself, and then also like hopefully your boyfriend would be the one like involving you within their friendship, you know?
Yeah. And I think especially the longer that friendship, it's almost like, I can understand this too, where for the girlfriend, like you love this person so much, you want to be like, obviously you want to feel special. Like,
right.
I know all these things about my boyfriend, but it's like, I don't know. I could also see where you might feel like you need to catch up because they already like had all these years to make all these memories. Like, okay, dude, just imagine you're at dinner and it's the female best friend, the boyfriend and the girlfriend. And the female best friend is like, oh my God, remember when da 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 da, and you weren't there for that. So you can't really like not even empathize, but like
you can't
enjoy that conversation, you know?
Yeah,
like they are. So I can see where like your first thought is like, I'm not gonna like her because it's like I want to be that one person.
Right.
But exactly. Right now, just for now, like you are the one person that knows him more. So I can see where that can be the response.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, no, there was one specific memory where he was like, oh, like playing this one album, and he was like, me, that girl,
Yeah.
and like one of our other friends, like we would just like scream this song at the top of our lungs. And when he was like playing it, I like didn't know any of the words, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I would feel really left out. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy how many memories you guys probably have that I can't participate in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's what also. Okay, title wise, I think like I don't know. It truly is just an equal, like a good nunchi of all three.
Yeah, definitely. Like make sure, like if you are the best friend in this situation, like don't talk about things that she can't participate in.
Yeah.
Or at least like give enough context where the girlfriend can participate. You know,
Yeah.
like make fun of the boyfriend. Like that could be your common ground. It's like,
like oh my god, did you know that he? You know what I mean?
Like, he does the- yeah,
well, what?
yeah.
Like like that would be such a good like engagement of all three.
Yes.
But yeah, so talking about the boundaries, or talking about like the yeses, the nos, the to dos, the not to dos.
And just to provide you guys with some context, I recently got a phone call from one of my guy friends who is in a relationship, and he was like, dude, like he's the nice guy, right? Like this is one of my friends, like probably the nicest person I know, and his girlfriend got mad at him because she was like, why are you so available to everyone? Like I don't
Like, is that how she said it though? Like, why are you so available to everyone?
I don't know exactly how she phrased it, but she was basically saying like, I don't feel like you're treating me like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I get treated the same way as you treat like your other girlfriends.
Yeah.
And space
like
friends,
female friends.
Yeah. And so I think like when I was talking to him on the phone, I was like, you know what? Like I think it's dependent on the person, their like level of comfort on boundaries, right? And so I think it's important to open up that conversation and be like, what are your boundaries?
Yeah.
And I don't know is not an okay answer from the girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, the girlfriend needs to be out there communicating her
Yes.
needs. It's not being bossy. It's not being like, you can't do this and you can't. It's literally being like, hey, like this is how this makes me feel. Can
Yeah.
we try to stay away from that? Like you have to compromise in relationships. And so I think like in having that conversation, I just started thinking about like what boundaries would I be setting? Like what are things that I'm comfortable and not comfortable with if I'm in a relationship? And so we got some examples for you guys. This may apply, this may not. Take what you need and leave what you don't.
Yes.
I think one thing that I think is like weirdly intimate is phone calls or like FaceTimes, like and random, not like scheduled, like, hey, I really want to catch up, like are you free for a FaceTime call next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Like it's not like that, like it's like a random FaceTime.
Yeah.
Like it's so freaking intimate, and like, dude, if it's at night, like maybe you guys are already ready for bed. Like I don't know. Like I was thinking through all these details, and I was like, oh god, I would feel hella uncomfortable because it just seems so intimate when you're like in each other's personal spaces.
Okay, but what if you answered the call? Like what if the boyfriend answered the call while the girlfriend was there and you guys were both kind of engaged in the FaceTime?
Oh, so it was like basically a group FaceTime.
It was, yeah.
Oh, then that'll be fine because like it's like.
And I say it was as if it happened to me because it kind of did happen to me, I guess.
Okay.
And I guess like now that I look back at it, like I guess I can understand. So in one of my previous relationships, a friend who had recently broken up was, getting ready to go out, and like there was another friend with him.
Okay.
And they called me as they were getting ready to go out, and I was in the car. It was right after dinner, and I was in the car, and we were both kind of answering the FaceTime,
right?
And it wasn't even a FaceTime; it was actually a Snapchat call. So then I get that, but it wasn't like I was in bed. It wasn't like I was alone. So we like both kind of answered the call, and that really upset him.
Oh,
I do think FaceTimes can get really intimate. I think setting is extremely important. Because I have had FaceTime calls that were unplanned, but I will say I try to, like I think even recently, right? Like even recently, I was catching up with a friend just because so many things have happened just with me changing jobs and, just, he's planning on visiting California.
Oh, nice.
In a couple months type of thing. Just like catching up.
Right.
But it wasn't it was, see, I feel like if we set the time, it would have been like an hour long, just talk. But it was just going to be a quick check-in type of thing.
Right.
But I was taking it at my boyfriend's place. So I was just like introducing the two, like, hey, say hi. Hey, say hi.
Oh, cute.
So like making sure like my boyfriend wasn't nunchi-pieing like me being in a call/conversation with another male.
Right.
But I have also been in a conversation where it was an unscheduled call kind of at night. It was like right after dinner. I was getting back in the car from the valet like pickup. And in that relationship, it really rubbed him in the wrong way.
Oh.
But I think I was always just so confused as to why it angered him so much, because it wasn't like shady or anything.
Like you were being super upfront about it.
Yeah, like it was like, hey, say hi. Like he was also the guy friend who called me was like, hey, like how are you? Like was
like super friendly. Yeah,
was talking to the both of us.
Oh.
So I can see where if it's like you're not let's say we weren't in the same space, me and my significant other, and I wasn't responding to his texts, I wasn't answering his calls because I was preoccupied with this male best friend. I could see where that
kind of, yeah, because again, it's that priority thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's justified. I think my actions are justified. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't just a me and a him thing. It was all three of us. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I am third wheeling, hopefully.
Like if you're catching me up, you're catching up the both of us. Is what's happening right now. So I think like setting. And it goes back to communication is so important for this too.
Oh yeah. Because I also think in the same vein, like hanging out one-on-one, I think can be really, really intimate. But again, setting matters. If my boyfriend was like doing something that seemed like even remotely date-like with his female best friend, I would be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why are you guys going on a picnic?
Yeah.
Like, why are you guys going to see like an outdoor movie? I would be mad, you know?
Yeah.
But I think if it's like casual dinner, like we're getting Chipotle, like that's fine, right?
Yeah.
And as long as they're being like super communicative with you, or not even super, just like communicative with you, like literally being like, oh, I'm gonna grab dinner with so-and-so, like on this day, like I think that would be fine. But like if I sense any sort of like sus shady behavior, I think that's where the issue really, really lies.
Definitely. Because and I'm gonna try to place myself in that, the boyfriend's shoes, right? Of like the boyfriend's shoes of having the female best friend and the girlfriend. And I would never want to tell my significant other, nor be told like you can't be friends with this person anymore. Right? But if you have to maintain a friendship, like sometimes you're going to have to grab lunches and dinners, like, and that's so fine.
Right.
But I think to your point, like the activity involved in that one-on-one is extremely important.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And recently, I think just something I've learned in my current relationship is like dealing with the situation with the two of you. Two of you first.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Like, I just learned, like, you can receive all this advice. And obviously there are pros and cons to it. Right? But it was actually just yesterday, too. We were talking about, again, this might sound kind of funny. Not that, like, my boyfriend was trying to discipline me. And he, like, kept reiterating this. Like, I'm not trying to, like, but he was giving me examples, like a dog. Okay, this might sound so weird. But, like, a dog, you can't honne. Like, you can't discipline them, like, after 5-10 minutes after it's done.
Right.
It's
the bad thing.
Right. So it's almost like associating it. Like, you have to deal with it in the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what really helped me to be like, okay, you know what? You're right. Like, because honestly, like there have been times, even like with my fights in like previous relationships, I honestly can't remember sometimes why I got mad, because it goes from 0 to 100 so quickly. And I know I'm upset, but when I'm trying to deal with it the next day, I can't really remember. Right. So rather than creating that room for creating stories when sharing with your friends, I think it's extremely important that you share like what's been going on, why you're upset, like dealing with it with the significant other first before seeking advice on how it should have gone, or like sharing it with your best friend.
Right. Yeah. Because I think like you always have that classic example of like boyfriend and girlfriend are getting into a fight, boyfriend goes to his female best friend and being like, she did this and she did this and she did this, and then eventually like they break up, and then the boyfriend gets with his female best friend, like his confidant, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that like in terms of creating boundaries, I personally like I would feel really uncomfortable if he was just quote unquote trying to get, you know, the same perspective, right? A female perspective.
Yes.
Like you have your guy friends to go to, like you have other people to go to. And so I completely agree with you. Like you need to make sure that like things are like pretty resolved first before you can like share with your friends. Otherwise like it just gets too messy, you know.
I don't know. And I don't know, not that I'm like, oh, like this is a definition of a healthy relationship, but like, so you are creating that space to find comfort in that female best friend, like if you go to that person, you know what I mean? To like validate your own feelings.
But
you can, I feel like you can find that within your girlfriend. Like when you guys find the right time to sizzle down, whether that be an hour or like a couple, right? But it's all about the compromise again. Like if you really care about like how the relationship is going, like I feel like you guys should both have the patience, the willingness to like meet each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whether that be sometimes me like needing to bite my tongue sometimes, or him having to like, you know, like resist what he wants to say.
Right.
Like you can get to that understanding.
Right.
Validating, listening to the other person while also talking about like where you like, you know, found it to be problematic in the situation. Like, you can find it within your relationship.
Right. Like talk about your relationship within your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think just like last point of like maybe, or last example of a boundary is like, I don't want the female best friend to be like calling up my boyfriend and be like, oh my God, can you kill this spider for me? Like, kill the spider yourself. Like what? Like what? Like you don't need him. You could have called literally anyone else. Like go talk to your neighbor. Like he doesn't need to be like inconveniencing himself driving over to kill this spider. Like, that just feels like too much.
Yeah. I thought of an example. So in my current relationship, I've gotten 2 wisdom teeth pulled out, right? And I remember the first one, I was in a lot of pain before the removal.
Right.
But he came over and like, I just would never imagine him do that for anybody else. Like he came over, like, because I was fine, but he came over and it was just like, I was just napping the entire time while he was in my room studying. And same thing for this one. This recent one too, like came over, spent a couple nights to make sure I didn't have a fever.
Oh, wow.
But even his roommates, didn't think he would bring the thermometer and like check up on them hourly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he better not.
Oh, gosh.
I don't think.
Yeah, you need to have a conversation after this episode.
No, he listens to our podcast now. So I'll be like, oh, so.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's just overall, guys, communicate your boundaries. Like they're not going to read your mind, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like, hey, like you should know this. Like you
Yeah.
don't know how they were raised. You have no idea like what context they like think in. Like you don't understand their perspective no matter like how close you are. So like just talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. I guess, like, I mean, to wrap up, like, let me just do like a high level of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, I think there can be best friends, like opposite sex best friends, but the relationship needs to be completely platonic.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go as far to say, I think it's also easier maybe if they were both in relationships, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like
not all the time.
Right. But hopefully most of the time it like lessens.
I think it's easier. Yeah. I think it would be easier. But that number one, it has to be extremely platonic. Like not like, oh, he just got into the friend zone bucket. Like he's been and will forever be in the friend zone bucket.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if it was like, oh, like we've hooked up before.
Yeah.
But like we're best friends. Oh,
like, yeah.
Dude, I would flip my shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that number one, but number two, our version of rule of 3.
Rule of 3.
Our version of the rule of 3, 60, 60, 60.
Yeah.
Like all 3 play such a critical role. Like with the girlfriend. Okay, well, first, hopefully the guy has enough nunchi to vibe if the girlfriend feels comfortable. But if not, I think when the girlfriend communicates that to the boyfriend, that he's understanding of it. Oh, like,
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And whether he blatantly tell the female best friend or the female best friend just kind of picks up on it by the change in actions of her best friend, which is the boyfriend, like just understanding that and not throwing, I don't know, quote unquote, a tantrum about it.
Right.
So it's like the rule of three, our version of the rule of three.
I love that.
I feel like it has to be like the triangle, because the triangle. So like the
It's
equilateral,
guys.
yes.
It's equilateral.
Yeah, the equilateral triangle. I think only then can it really work out.
Yeah. But yeah, no, thank you so much for submitting this question, Nancy. Like literally, it was kind of like unexpected that we like have this type of episode, but I think like it's really nice to be able to talk about what you guys want to hear, like specifically to you. And so if you guys want to actually ask us a question, please go ahead and email us at bulgogipod@gmail.com. Put in the subject line gogi question.
Okay.
Gogi question needs to be in the subject line.
Okay.
And then we will give you details from there, and we will maybe answer. Maybe answer.
Maybe. No guarantee.
Yeah, no guarantees. Don't ask shitty questions. No, just kidding. I'm playing. There are bad questions though, I will say. Yeah. Woo! You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at bulgogi.podcast, on Twitter at bulgogipodcast, me on Instagram at HANAKATTT,
and me at BEJULIFIED.
and find us on YouTube.
Oh yeah, my dad subscribed.
Oh, cute.
Turn on the notification bell.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
He was making fun of me. He was like, you have 1 like. He was like, I'll be your second like. And I was like, I just liked it, so you're the 3rd like.
Oh.
So we had 3 likes.
Okay, I'll go like it. So that's 4.
I'll go like it with all my other Gmail accounts.
Okay, good,
you know?
good.
Got it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, give us a like. Smash that like button.
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. We're less than 100 days until Christmas. I just want to put it out there.
Oh my god, that is so exciting.
Alrighty.
Okay, bye.
Bye.